Hi, today we're going to take a look at 7.4, so 7.4, and we're going to use the y-intercept and a point, so basically 2 points, just one of them being the y-intercept, to write the equation of an exponential function. So let's remember that exponential functions are written in the form a times b to the x is equal to y, and the a represents the y-intercept, and the b represents the common multiplier. So we're going to take our a value today, right here, we're going to take our a value, and we're going to substitute it into our equation, and also substitute in a point to solve for, that a should be a b, to solve for the b value, okay? And then we write the equation for substituting a and b back into the equation. Okay, so what we're going to do first is just practice some cubes and squares, so solving for cubes and squares. So I have x squared is equal to 121. To undo an x squared, the inverse would be to take the square root of x. Okay, to undo an x cubed, we would take the cube root of x cubed. Okay, so that's what our inverse operation is, our undoing operation. We've seen this like in Pythagorean theorem. So x squared is equal to 121. We're going to take the square root of both sides. The left side gives me x. The right side gives me 11. But wait, there's actually two answers when we unsquare an x. It's plus or minus 11. Let me show you when we check. So I'm doing x squared is equal to 121. Remember, one of my answers was positive 11 squared is 121. 11 squared is, so 11 times 11 is equal to 121. Oops. 11 squared is 121 is equal to 121. That checks out. So now let's try x squared is equal to 121, but instead of substituting in positive 11, we're going to substitute in negative 11. So this would be negative 11 times negative 11, because both the negative and the 11 are being squared, since the number is in parentheses. So I get 121 is equal to 121. So both of these answers, whether it's plus or minus, will give us a solution of 121. Okay? So two solutions here. All right, you try the next one. I would square root both sides. That leaves me with x on the left, and on the right I get plus or minus 20. All right, now let's talk about cubes. So the undoing of a cube is to cube root. So I'm going to go ahead and cube root both sides. Oh, I changed this problem to x cubed is equal to 216. So go ahead and change that on your paper. Okay. So the cube root of x cubed is x. And then the cube root, we're looking for three of the same factors that give me 216. So I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'm going to do math, and then I'm going to select number 4, or scroll down to 4 and hit enter. And then I'm going to type in 216, enter, and what I get is 6. So what this tells me is that 6 cubed would equal 216. So 6 cubed, 6 times 6 times 6, or 6 to the third power, is 216. So what I see is that 6 cubed is equal to 216. I know 6 cubed is 216, so 216 is equal to 216. Okay, and this is just my check. Now, like last time when we unsquared a number, we had a plus or a minus. So this time, if I do negative 6 cubed is equal to 216, that would be negative 6 times negative 6 times negative 6. So 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. But a negative times a negative gives me a positive, and that positive times a negative would give me a negative. So negative 216 does not equal 216. So in this case, there's only one solution. So when we uncube a number, we only get one solution. All right, so this next one, go ahead and give it a try, pause the video, come back, we'll go over it. So I'm going to take the cube root, both sides, okay? The cube root of x cubed is x, and then what times what times what gives me 27, and that number is 3. So 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 gives me 27. Okay, so here we go. For the real business, we're going to write the exponential equation from a y-intercept and a point. So again, remember that y is equal to a times b to the x is like a basic exponential function. Okay, so we know that our exponential function goes through the point 0, 4 and 2, 256. So I can already see right now that 0, 4, this is my y-intercept. So I know that my a value is equal to 4, because that's my y-intercept. So first off, we're identifying the a value. Then what we're going to do is we're going to write the equation using the a value. So I'm going to start with my y is equal to a times b to the x, and we're going to replace a. I'm going to replace a with 4. So it looks like this. Y is equal to 4 times b to the x. Okay, now I have a problem. I have too many unknowns. I have an x, a b, and a y. Said those backwards. X, b, and y. So I have 3 unknowns, and I really need to figure out what the value of b is. So we're going to use the point to substitute in x and y, and then we're going to solve for b, not a. Not bad. B, not a. So we're going to use this other point, 2, 256, and we're going to go ahead and plug these in for x and y. So my y becomes 256 is equal to 4 times b to the 2. All right, x becomes a 2. Now I have one unknown, so I can go ahead and start undoing to solve for b. So we will divide both sides by 4 first. So divide both sides by a. Okay, 4 divided by 4 is 1. 256 divided by 4. 256 divided by 4. 64. Okay, so 64 is equal to b squared. And then how would you isolate b? Well, we would take the square root, okay, both sides, and I get b is equal to the square root of 64 is plus or minus 8. But in an exponential function, we don't have a negative b value, so we know that the negative is going to go away. Okay, so our b is 8. So now we can go ahead and write our exponential equation in the form y is equal to a times b to the x. My a was 4, and my b we solved for was 8. So my equation is y is equal to 4 times 8 to the x power. All right, you guys try this one. We're going to write the exponential function in the form a times b to the x using the points 0, 10, and 9, 5120. Alrighty, so my a value is 10. The second step is to write the equation in y is equal to a times b to the x, and we're going to substitute in our a. So we have y is equal to 10 times b to the x. We're passing through the point 9, 5120. So we're going to substitute in our x and our y. So I have 5120 is equal to 10 times b. Our x is 9 so to the 9. Okay, we're going to go ahead and isolate b, so solve for b. So we're going to have to divide by 10 on both sides. I get 512, and 10 divided by 10 is 1. On the right-hand side, I get a b to the 9th power. Okay, so if you, a square root undoes a square, a cube root undoes a cube, well, a 9th root would undo a power of 9. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pop that into our calculator. So I have math, and then we're going to scroll down to number 5 where the little x root is. And I'm going to plug in 9 on the outside, and then 512 underneath the radical. So 2 times 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 2. So 9 2's multiplied together gives me a product of 512. So B is equal to, ooh, many controls here. Okay. B is equal to, the 9th root of 512 is 2. So we go ahead and write in our equation, our A was 10 and our B is 2. So I have 10 times 2 to the x power. Remember, this is in the form A times B to the x. Here's our solution. Okay, let's do one more. We're given the point 0, 3, and 324. So go ahead and pause. Try this on your own. Okay. All right, so I have 0, 3 is my A. Okay, so my A is 3. And then we're going to write our equation in the form A times B to the x, we're replacing A. So I have y is equal to 3 times B to the x. Uh-oh, too many unknowns. We have 3. But luckily I have this ordered pair to help me out. So I have 3, 24. That's my x and my y. So I'm going to substitute those in. Y is equal to, my y is 24. So 24 is equal to 3 times b, and then an x value that works is 3. So now we're going to go ahead and isolate to get b by itself. So we want to get rid of our a value by dividing by 3 on both sides. 24 divided by 3 is 8. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So b to the 3rd power. To undo a cube, go ahead and cube root both sides. And I get b is equal to the cube root of 8. So 2 times 2 times 2 gives me 8. If you want to do this in your calculator, you go to math. You can either click 4 or 5. In this case, I think 4 is easier. So the cube root of 8 is 2. Lots of 2's here. So now I have a b value of 2. So my equation in the form y is equal to a times b to the x would be a is 3 times 2 to the x power. And that is it for today. I'll see y'all later.